a few minutes ago. So just now I got it all back up. I say just now. I got it all back up, and no, I didn't push record. I don't know if I had it recording the last time. We hadn't been going that long though. But clear idea of where um, price is working within these ranges. So buy side liquidity up there where the highs were from yesterday afternoon, and then the London low, the daily weekly open, and then of course you've got all of this inefficiency down into here before you reach that structure, that opening gap that we broke through yesterday, where all the noise happened on the ES. Once we broke through, we came down, then we settled just kind of around it for a little while before breaking out again. So that could be a level as well. Something to pay attention to. And then the Monday high way down below it. I just don't think that there's any kind of news that's going to be driving a huge move to the downside. Do we grind down? Maybe. We could, because obviously the dollar looks like it's kind of gotten its feet a little bit and starting to push back up. So this is a 15-minute chart. Just kind of working our way back to the upside there. And during all this move to the upside, the markets were pushing as well. So if the dollar continues to strengthen, I mean, I would assume the markets would eventually react to that and possibly trickle down. But housing starts and building permits being the only news today, I don't think that's a big enough driver. Tomorrow, unemployment claims, and then nothing on Friday. Yeah, I just don't see us having a whole bunch of news that's going to have the dollar snap and turn this big move around. I don't think so. I would like for price to, obviously give us some type of pullback and take out some of these lows before then deciding to go back up, just because it gives you a little bit more confidence entering here for longs than entering here for longs. But man, yesterday I was so upset that I wasn't trading the ES right off the bat, because that was clearly the better instrument to be playing. And then after grinding out a morning, walking away and then coming back and seeing that the NQ finally did catch up with everything. Yeah, absolutely, Fred. Entering at a high premium. Even if we get, this way it's looking pretty bearish. Even if we get back down into here, we start working into this area. You've got fair value gaps and, type of order blocks. But I would like to see these lows get taken out, if not a retest of the daily open down here. Let's see. NQ's already did take London highs where the ES did not. So that's a little divergence between the two. ES didn't take out the London highs, but the NQ has. The London low on the ES actually took out some of these lows in here. Didn't get the Asia low, but definitely went a lot lower than that. So the NQ looking pretty strong so far this morning. But I would like to see even here. I want to see this taken out. I'd like to see us drop down and then at market open start working. I just don't know if we get that far down before market open. Yeah, taking out those highs. Fair value gap right there. You definitely target this low right here too. It's almost 15, 16 points. A little fair value gap right there in the top of this order block, which would have been right at London Asia highs right in here. I know that was another thing that was weird yesterday is that the dollar was not weak yesterday. It wasn't like crazy strong, but it kept going up. Like the news, we had a big news candle right there. It never lost the news candle, and then it broke higher, held, broke higher, and then overnight tonight we broke higher. That was where the pound had some weak numbers. The pound CPI had some weak numbers right in here. But yeah, we never lost the news candle yesterday, and in fact, we broke higher. So it wasn't like it was crushing like the markets, but it definitely wasn't losing ground. So, and it looks like it's doing basically the same thing as markets this morning, right? Running high and low, and looks like we're trying to get back to the highs here. There's that median coming into play this morning, right before that news dropped for the pound. I mean, and this really doesn't look bearish. We've got some liquidity that he can come and grab, but to me, just a pullback for it, right? And then some higher highs. There you go. Speaking of, that's about 70. Yeah, 70, 79. But it's hard to trust a short right now with these markets. Even though we're way up in here and I just it's hard to trust a downside move. It hasn't really given any. When it does pull back, it comes back pretty strong. So on the higher time frames, you do kind of have a good little straight line right there. Pull back in liquidity. Monday high, fair value gap above it on the 4 hour there. So good possibility. Um, we do get above these highs for some reason. Even if we don't, even if we pull back from right there on the ES. Monday high could be a decent little target. But it has not done anything like that. Like, look at all that liquidity right there. It came down a little bit, but barely half. Not even quite half of it. So, and that was Friday. This was like your last real good pullback. So we're definitely due for something like that, but it's going to have to really break some good structure. Let me take that off real quick. Yeah. When we got this settled right here, we do start breaking down the daily price line in that structure. Yeah, it's going to have to be convincing. Like just getting below these lows right here, I'm not I'm not too convinced. You can probably take a short inside there, obviously, if it gives you something, but I don't know. I'd like to see it come down and make a good low and then not go higher and then break down again. And then this right here, somewhere right in there, we can get an entry. And that might be a good OTE right in here to look for. But it's going to have to give me some type of structure before I really trust it to go low. I don't think I'm just shorting to be shorting up here unless I'm really just scalping 3 points. I'm not taking a short up in here for, 10 or 15 points on the ES because it just hasn't pulled back like that. And like I said, this was a good pullback right here. The end of the week, 57.28 is about 30 points. That was really the last good one on the hourly. Because I mean, the way this looks right now, we've got liquidity right there, but that is a very nice order block situated right there at the daily price. So even if we come down here and grab those lows and that liquidity, that's a pretty good bounce spot and a pretty good reason to enter. So so this might be a decent little spot if we decide that we're going to break down below that. Still got to get below that structure right there for me to really think, okay. And then we can start looking for something like that. So that would be the kind of structure that I would want. There you go. There's your OT. That's what's going to happen right there. Well, judging by my drawing, it'll be about 3 o'clock. We'll call that the lunch hour. I think for one, I don't trust the downside move. Period. But I would assume a pretty good straight line that this morning housing starts and building permits will probably be okay for the dollar. I don't think there'll be horrible numbers. So the dollar pushes, then we'll break into that liquidity, right? And then market open, maybe we'll get a little pullback and then a drop, and then we'll grab our feet and we'll start grinding during the morning session, and then at lunch we start dropping again. There you go. There's your sessions. There's your kill zones. That is not my bias, by the way. I definitely believe that until the market really shows me a reason that we're not bullish, then we're bullish. We keep breaking highs, then I'm going to keep trying to go long. Absolutely. I know I haven't seen the video. I haven't seen the video yet, but I know Patrick Weiland put out a video yesterday trading with no bias, uh, and I totally get it. Like I think you need to have a sense of direction, but you don't have to have a bias. You obviously don't want to be thinking short when the market is doing that because you're losing. You might have some winning shorts, but you're not making a crazy amount of money on that. So you do need to have a sense of direction in which the market is going. But when you zoom in, on the higher time frames, but when you start zooming in to the hourly or even lower, that's when I think you can have a change in bias. As far as the highest time frame, monthly is clearly bullish, daily is clearly bullish. But if you get down into your 3 and 5 minute, you might have where we might be a little bearish. We didn't take the highs out there. We've created a new low, and this is a good 70% retracement right in here. So a short could definitely into that trend line can definitely be a play. So I think that depending on your trading style, that you want to have a sense of direction, but you don't have to have a clear bias. Because I'll be honest with you, some of my largest losses are when I feel the market just is going to go a certain direction and I continue to trade it in that direction and I just keep losing my ass. Like, and I can't get off of that. It's going to go long and it just keeps breaking down. So I think having a bias sometimes can hurt you. And you just have to be open-minded. It's a pretty good pullback into that fair value gap after sweeping lows here. Let's see if we take out the London highs. Because it came right back into, almost that VWAP. Look at that move on the NQ. Golly. Drop down to 5 minute. Yeah, where we were thinking, short there. That's the reason, man. I'm telling you, it's got to break a whole lot of stuff for me to believe that it's going to go down. Wow. Total percentage of profit, selected bias. So this is saying like having a clear bias is a good thing, though, right? Yeah. Oh, I got you. I see what you mean. Having a clear direction. Yeah, I don't like the word bias, but trading with that trend, yeah, that's definitely because another thing too is when you're trading um, with the trend, or let's say you counter trade, like you trade against the trend. I take a short, right? When you're trading with the trend, you can hang on to those trades because there's more confidence in it that it's going to continue to move that in that direction. And again, when you're not trading with the trend, it's probably not going to continue, for the same amount, obviously, because it's going against the trend. It's harder to accept, let's say, 10 points on the NQ when you're used to getting 20 and 25 points, right? So let's say you just took a trade long with the trend and you got about 22 points out of it. And then you decide, okay, we've taken out a high here. I'm going to go short. And in your mind this short has to be a smaller target. It's so hard to just scalp it for 7 or 8 points when you literally just took a 22-point trade. And I think that's where people get in trouble and they hit like full losses when they try and trade up and then back down. If you're going counter trend, it's got to be a smaller target. Has to be, because you don't know if it's going to be this type of a pullback or that type of a pullback. Yeah. So it's okay, I think, to trade against the trend. Like, I mean, this was a nice short, right? You could have entered right there on that fair value gap. It was a good break of structure there. Fair value gap. We had a nice. Could have played that as a take it easy, Chris. Have a good day, man. Yeah, man. I'm hoping the storms. I'll probably be on my tablet trading today as opposed to my computer. So they say they're hanging around for a little while. So um, this is a good breaker area, right? So we've got a nice fair value gap, and price worked back into it right there, and then he took a trade down into VWAP. But if we're looking at that, it's not going to be 10 points, right? It's 11 points. You can't take this trade and expect it to come all the way back down, taking out Asia lows and the daily price line. You want it to, but you can't take that trade expecting it. You've got to only go for like the 10-point move. Look, it didn't even make it back to midnight before it bounced. And I mean, that was a very nice bullish setup right here at 2 o'clock. Well, 4 o'clock. But well, I think I think I'm actually going to end it right there too. Getting some good pops, thunder and lightning. So I think I'm going to call it right here and be done. Everyone be safe today. I will see y'all tomorrow. And the storms I think are gone. We're supposed to have more rain, but it's mainly just flooding stuff. It's not going to be like it was this morning. But I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of the day. Be safe. All right, let's take a look at gold this morning and see what gold has to offer. It was crushing yesterday, this week, and yesterday just started pushing strong, as the dollar was even pushing. So it's kind of a weird day yesterday where everything just seemed super bullish, and I was it was pretty nuts that it was as bullish as it was. So the dollar was pushing up, the markets were pushing up, gold was even pushing up. So we did get our feet here, and we were talking about it being bullish. We broke this nice trend line here, retested, and then just absolutely slammed higher. So we Sunday, Thursday, Friday, I'm sorry, we started getting a little pullback into Sunday, and Monday we created the Monday range right here, and then yesterday we just blew through the Monday range as if it was basically nothing. So let's drop into a 15-minute chart to get kind of a better sense. So we're definitely in a bullish kind of upward move right now, but it looks like we're setting up for a decent little pullback. First thing that catches my eyes is this area right here. A lot of wicks and a nice 15-minute little order block right there. It's a good push up. Took out this little bit of liquidity here and then absolutely slammed higher on that move. So really like that area as a potential return spot. So I'm going to put a line right there. And we're down below the 21 EMA as of right now. I'm not going to put the 8 on there. So honestly, even right now, good little short could be in play. But I would like to see price get below this structure right here. That's near the top of that. That's still a pretty good point, a pretty good amount of points right in there. If you were to break down below that, this is where I would love to see an area to go short and break it down all the way into this area right here. And then at that point, we can go up from that, right? That's going to be about the 70%, maybe a little bit worse than 70%, depending on where we anchor our fib from. And I think I would have to anchor it basically right here at the bottom of this candle. Down here, I think would be a little bit too far, although that's really what started that big move. So now that I zoom out a little bit, yeah, let's go ahead and anchor it right there. Right there. So premium until we get below this structure here, and then we can start turning around and go long. If price wants to come all the way back down to the Monday highs, and it could. I haven't really traded gold with this Monday range all that much. It could definitely come back that far, but I don't know if gold gives that much back. So I mean, quite honestly, we moved our anchor to right there. This is an area where I think we pull back into. Right there's our structure. Here's the 70%. I much would rather see longs taken from this spot. So shorts down, we get our footing and a reason to enter. Longs from this area. Now, if we obviously bust through that, then we change, we reanalyze and whatever. But I like this area right in here where we have the top of that order block, and it really looks kind of bearish right now. So I would like to see price break down below this structure, get into the discount in this area, even if I don't take shorts down, this is where I'm looking for longs. Let's go and look at oil. All right, so price pushed a little bit higher than what I was expecting right in here, but we eventually got down to the area in which I thought we would, which is this structure right in here. We created the Monday high on this huge whip action right there with probably some news. And we've made our way all the way back up to where, I thought we would. So got a decent little grasp on what oil can do. And if the markets are going to continue to crush a little bit higher, then I see no reason why oil doesn't push as well. So we got above this high. It looks like we're trying to hold that. We're holding this whole move right here. We broke above the Monday high range. So we've got some liquidity up in here that it could be seeking. This could be a good area to start from. I'll zoom in on that. Right in here, this could be a good area. These dotted lines, that's where price is right now. So we've got some inefficiency that it can keep coming up for. We already broke the high, right? Yeah, we already broke the high right here and moved into this inefficiency. So this could be a spot to look for price to get to. A good little target for a long where it's at right now if it decides to go long. And then, of course, we've got this nice little trend where liquidity is situated above it. Because when I see trend lines, I see liquidity. So I think oil possibly pushes all the way back up into there. Look at the higher time frame. Yeah, so we're fairly bullish. We've got a large pullback that we're trying to work our way out of, which is, it makes sense. All right, we were here. We created this larger range back into this gap. It looks like we're trying to be, yeah, back into this gap right here, above this structure. So that's a good sign to be above that structure there, for a long. So yeah, I think bullishness is probably what we need to be looking for when it comes to oil. Let's drop down to the 1 hour. We did take out these highs right here from Asia. And then we had a little London move. Looks like we're pulling back into that. Yeah. So if we hold these levels, then I would say we're going to remain bullish. If we end up losing some of these levels, then it's probably going to be a deeper pullback into this liquidity right here. So, but overall, highest of time frames, we're probably on a bullish trend. So, look at the Euro USD real quick. Drop into like a 4 hour chart. If the dollar gets a boost, I like that structure line at 109.50, which we did not get. We didn't get this move back down into here. So the dollar did get a boost, but this did not pull back the way it should have, right? The dollar was losing its butt right through here, and then it just kind of leveled out. And the dollar really hasn't grabbed its feet yet. It looks like it's trying to now. Let's drop into an hourly. This is definitely a more bearish structure for me than anything. Looks like we've kind of topped out here, and it looks like we're rolling over, which is an indication of dollar strength. This structure line that I've already got set, that's where I'm looking. My eyes are first, and that line comes from way over here. Yeah, there you go. Right there. Right there. So that's where I would think if we're going to be bearish, the dollar's going to strengthen up. This is where I think that we go to first. So that would be my first target line, 11846. And then from that point on, we've got the structure down here at 109. So if the dollar continues to strengthen back up. So quick look at the pound. As you can see, pound clearly more bearish, but pound had some news this morning with CPI. CPI year over year was not good for the sterling, and we just started falling off. So from news this morning, we're crushing a little bit lower. Let's see. I like this area of structure right here, and we'll make that a dotted line. Yeah, that kind of coincides with all this over here. So yeah, I like that area. This could be a good bouncing point, or at least something kind of a little stall, maybe a return and then a continuation. If the dollar continues to strengthen, it definitely, especially against the pound. So, all right. I think that's going to do me for today. Be careful out there, and I will see y'all tomorrow.